Okay, do you see it recording? Yeah? You see the record button? Yeah. Okay, so here we go. I have my weights right here. I think you can see them. I'm looking here to see how far back that you can see me. You can see me okay, right? Yes. All right. Okay. So I have my tea towel. And again, I could have a bar. I could have a broom. I could have any kind of thing that's a straight type of an edge. Okay. And I'm going to come right here like this. And I'm going to come right here, just like I'm going to do a tea towel, do a drying off of my neck. See that? So I'm using a very, very functional move, and I'm going pretty slowly. And I'm standing here, and all I want to do is lift my knee. See, I want to lift my knee. If I was somebody that wanted to be gentle on my knees, let's say I've hurt an ankle, let's say I have a flare-up of a plantar fasciitis, let's say I've hurt my knee in Zumba class, I might do this. See this? I might do this and this. See, I'm just sitting, but by doing this sitting, I'm starting to warm up all the structures through my back, through my gluteal, as I'm going up over my head and back, and that's all I'm doing. And see, the thing of it is you need to almost rake the top of your head, because I'm going very gently and I'm going slowly as I lift my knee. So if I needed to unload, I would lift my knee like that and do a little toe push out. See that? So here's your modification. This is a very good way to warm up. Through my knee, through my legs, or I can stand. So I can do one or the other. So it's an up, down, up, down. Then it's going to go side to side. Whenever I go side to side, I'm going to step open. I'm going to shift, just like that. And right this minute, as you're doing this motion, pretend that I'm standing behind you with my hands on your shoulders. So some of you just now dropped your shoulders, okay? Because I'm doing this to point out how pervasive and how it's like a knee jerk. If you do this kind of a motion, you bring your shoulders up. If you put your hands on a cane or a walker or a walking pole, you do this. That's not what you want to do. You want to drop the shoulders, okay? When you drop your shoulders and you're rocking from side to side like this, and your shoulders are down, your tummy is super tight, and my knee, whenever I put pressure on it, see, like right there, my knee is soft with a little bit of a hip hinge. See that? So this is a very different way to move through a warm-up. Many times you'll start warming up by just walking, and you kind of walk without being very mindful. And so you forget all these little things that you need to do to line yourself up. So that's why I'm putting this on this recording. So I'm going to say instructional warm-up, strength training. That's what this one is, because we're going through a warm-up. So I already showed you a modification. Bring your legs in now, and now come this way. Again, now we're going to do over, see, and back. So what we're trying to do is act like we're trying to dry our neck. See this? That's a normal functional motion. Some of you that have shoulder issues, actually, this is a hard thing to do with your shoulder, okay? You need to be careful with it, because a lot of times you'll go like this, grab it, and then do it, simply because you have so much dysfunction in your shoulder, and you didn't know I knew that. I know that, okay? So I'm going to continue my little warm-up here. See, I'm drying the neck, and I'm going to just bring it over my head and down. But I'm going to keep my shoulders down. I'm going to keep my tummy super tight. I keep my knee pretty soft, okay? So that when I put pressure on the supporting leg, I am engaging all the muscles. You don't do that when you lock your knee. So you need to just think about that. You just keep a little softness. And when you put that softness in your knee, especially when you're warming up, that should force you into a little bit of a hip hinge. See how I push back? Hi there, everybody coming on. We're doing elongated. Now bring the tea towel over your head. Okay, and we're going to do a shifting now. Okay, so right then, you should have said rib cage up, shoulders down. And whenever that you bring your foot off the ground, the knee is soft and the toe is pointing where? Everybody should be screaming at their screens. Forward, forward. Because if you look at your little toe, some of you have your toes sticking up, okay? I want them sticking forward. So when I'm going side to side here to wake up all these muscles here and all these muscles here, I have to keep my tummy tight. I have to keep my shoulders down, okay? And whenever I bring my foot off the floor, just a split second, my knee is soft, my hips are pushing back just a little. The minute your hips push back and you raise your rib cage, wow, does that get your back extensors on board. And bring this down. Now, we've attacked here, 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 and just this warm up. Now we're going to go to the back part of the leg and the calf. Again, if you have some problems with your leg, your foot, your knee, your back, you're going to go down with your tea towel. And I'm going to keep my shoulders, my hip, and my knee in line. See that? So the minute I go into this kind of a thing, invariably what I'll see in a class, they'll see me doing this. They'll either go like this or they'll come way forward with their knee. I don't want either one of them. Here's the ear, here's the shoulder, here's the hip, and then this knee need to be lining up. See this? Right like that. That's when I'll get a nice heel plant, just a gentle stretch through the calf there, and I'll be pushing my tea towel down. Now, those of you who are okay with your shoulders, at this point, if you can keep your toes forward when you're stepping back and you're planting the heel, that's when you're going to start into a figure eight. Take a breath. See the figure eight? And this is also letting you have a little window into how's my joints working this morning? How's my shoulders working? How's my back? How's my knee? How's my hip? Okay? If you need to moderate your motion, that's when you do it, right now. But if you don't line yourself up, you won't even know what kind of changes I need to be making, okay? Take a breath. So by doing upper body, line it up, working upper body, and then working lower body, by virtue of that, even though this is a gentle motion, this is a compound move, okay? Tight, tight tummy. The minute that foot goes back, drop those shoulders, pull that tummy in, pressing back, keep those toes forward, and it also turns into a balance maneuver, which is excellent. I'm going to turn my little fan on because I'm getting hot. Overhead fan, when you're doing something like this, is excellent. Okay, this is our strength training day. We are into our class now, okay? Just need a little breeze on you. It will help keep you cool. It'll keep your pulse down. your heart, by virtue of getting too hot, and a lot of times people will get too hot when they're exercising in a room at home, and it will make your pulse speed up because you're trying to cool yourself. That's why a little fan, a little air blowing on you is a good thing. Okay, so what did I do? I'm still warming up. I'm moving into the first phase of our lifting program today. Okay, so I'm sitting. See that? If I'm somebody with a knee strain, I can sit, but when I go to get up, I'm going to use my hands on the ends of my chair, and I'm going to hinge forward, drop my shoulders, just help my knee through the sticking points of standing up. Bring my hands straight out, bring them back in, rotate them. This is a lot on a shoulder that's a problem. I'm going to rotate back down. I'm going to go out, keeping them low. I'm going to push my butt back. I'm going to go into that sit down. I am going to go ahead and sit down. And if I'm a person with a knee problem, I'm going to use my hands on the chair, okay? So that I don't insult or keep hitting an injured knee or an injured hip. We're warming up, but we're going to be doing lifting here. So in just a minute. So here I go. I'm going to use my hands if I need to. I'm going to come just like this, bring my hands up, press into the heels, open, open. See the W? Bring them down. Check in. See this straight out? Here I go, down, all the way down. Use your hands if you need to, and sit down. I'm going to do 3 more of these stand-ups and sit-downs. Here's my goal for anybody coming and joining me in this, in the workouts that I do. I want you to be able to get yourself from a chair up without grunting and groaning and doing, having whoever to grab your hands and help grandma or grandpa or, auntie out of the chair. I want you to have the muscles to do it. So you have to practice that, okay? And if you have a knee problem, if you have a hip problem, that's a problem. You got to be careful. So use your hands. That's a good modification right there. Then you pick up your weights. When we're doing our weights, then you stand. See? Then you're using your hands to help and your upper body to help mitigate that problem that you've worked up by overuse or doing things you shouldn't have done, Chrissy. Okay, here we go. Out here. Bring them back in. Okay? Classic W. See that? So I'm in my W. I'm in my heels right now. My knees are soft. I'm going to hip hinge. I'm going to go down. I'm going to sit. I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to come back up. I'm going to use my hands or not. W, out, all the way down, breath. Here we go. In, heels, push, bring them back in. Last one. Here we go, and down. Take a breath. Yes? So we're going to start right off with some of our sit to stands, and I'm going to use my weights, okay? Because this is a strength training day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with light weight. So whatever's light for you. And let me just say that if you hurt your knee or anything, this next segment is going to involve some squatting, okay? Or sit to stand or that type of thing, okay? We're going to go all over the place, but our central thing is going to be squatting or sitting down into the chair, which is basically an assisted squat, okay? So here we go. See, here's my light weight. So I'm going to see how does that feel right out here in a W. My palms are facing my ears. See that? That's a much more stable position for a shoulder issue. So see, you just bring those elbows to your waist and come right to the shoulders. Waist, high enough to the shoulders. Waist, shoulders. See that? Yeah, just like that. Then I'm going to come right here. And I'm just going to go press around. See that? I'm going to hip hinge. I'm going to bring them back. Then I'm going to open. So there's our hinge move. Then I'm going to bring the elbows into my waist. So that's my deltoid involvement. So it's a lot of shoulder function. Again, down to the waist. See, I haven't stood yet. Right to there. Breath. I'm just checking, see how everything's going. Now turn them in. And here we go. All the way around. And fold. See how I'm into the fold? So now I'm down. I'm ready to stand up. Okay? So I'm going to go pressure into my heels. That takes pressure off my knees. But if I'm somebody with knee problems, I need to stay strong, but I don't need to re-injure the knee or the hip or the foot or the back. So I'm going to use my hands like this to get me off the sticking point. Then I'm going to grab my weights, and then I'm going to come up. That's how I would modify that for anybody with those issues. Now I've got my light weights here, right? And I'm going to go open to my W, bring it down so that I'm in my W. When you bring your elbows into your waist and you've got a light weight in your hands, you're going to feel that. Careful, and those of you who need to, do this with no weight. Now I'm going to push out right there. I'm going to bring it right back in. See that? Now I'm going to shift. I'm going to bring my heel off the ground. These are light weights, okay? Light weights. I'm going to pull my tummy in, drop my shoulders. I'm going to shift, bend my knee, go to my toe point, push out. These are light weights. And I can hear, if Nancy's on, she's saying, well, how much weight do you have for light weights, Jean? I have 6 pounds right now, but that's me, okay? And if I had a I have a shoulder issue. That's a shoulder, this one, that I landed on back in 2001. I landed in the middle of the road after getting hit by a car that was going 50 miles an hour. And I landed on this shoulder. Well, I had a big hematoma. I didn't break nothing. It's amazing. But I know that it damaged some structures in there. So I have to keep working steadily. See what I'm doing? I'm shifting. I'm going to my toe point. I'm not taking it off the ground yet, but my elbows are at my waist. I have a light weight here. I'm pushing it out constantly. Back in. Take a breath. Shift. Go to the toe point. Okay? Soft knee. Supporting, and then push it out there. Bring it back in. If I needed to, I would do this with no weight. So right now, you're doing postural lining up. That means the ears over the shoulders, tummy in, rib cage up, soft knees. See that? Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath. Bring it in. Shift. See that? So tight tummy and rib cage up. Those two are very important here, as is the soft knees. See, I'm on my toe point. See, I'll turn. See, I'm on my toe point. I'm going to go push right there. My thumbs are up right here, but my weights are below my shoulders. Okay, so I'll do the other one. See, toe point, shift, soft knees, rib cage up, push, go right out here, hold. 1, 2, breathe. 3, bring it back in. Take a breath. So if you have a light weight for yourself and you're doing this shifting, this whole move is about lining yourself up as much as it is doing the weights. Shift. See, I'm shifting constantly. I'm on all 4 corners of my supporting foot. My knee is soft, but my knee is bent, and I'm on my toe box. And then I'm going to go push out there, and my thumbs are up, but I'm going to keep those weights under my shoulders. You got to hear that, because if you're doing this and you're taking and you're doing this, see, this is not what I'm doing. I'm doing this. That is a very different move. This is a gentle push to getting to use some very weak structures in a bad shoulder, okay? But you've got to keep it under your shoulders. You can't go up here. That will damage your shoulder if you have a weight, okay? So here we go, hammer curl, yes. Then I'm gonna rotate back. Then I'm gonna come back in. So right here, I'm gonna be hip hinge. I'm gonna keep my elbows bent. I'm gonna drop my shoulders right now. Everybody, drop your shoulders, drop your chin. Boom, right to there. Come back in. This is a light weight. I could do this whole thing sitting very well. Boom, breath. So when you come up with the back of your hand up, your shoulder blades should roll into your spine. So stay on your heels, pushing into your heels, pull and come back in. Heels, pull, come back in. Take a breath and back in. So I can do all of this seated. If I need to unload, do my hip, my knee, my feet, I could do this whole thing sitting. No problem whatsoever. Breath, but look at the elbows. Okay, the elbows are in. My chin is tucked. My head is not bent like this. I don't want that. I want my chin tucked. I want my rib cage up, shoulders down into the heels. Breath, stay with me. Breath. Remember, if you get tired or if you're feeling a squeeze in one of those injured areas, you can do this whole thing sitting in a chair. Breath, breath. Hang on. We got 4 more. Breath, breath. Just 2 more. Here we go. Shoulder blades in. I think that was 2, right? I don't know. 2. Okay, that was it. Take a breath. These are light weights, you guys. Light weights. Okay? I'm going to put them right down in front of me. Okay? So with light weights, I'm inviting you to put your weights right in front of you. Whenever I have people do that in class, see, they don't know it, but I'm watching because I want to see how you're putting the weights down. Okay? So right then, when some of you put that down, you flexed your back. You did not keep your rib cage up and a good extension to put them down. And some of you put them down and you went out with your knees. Okay, some of you went in with your knees. How do I know this? I know what kind of slugs come into my class. I'm trying to help my slugs to be better slugs. That's the point. And not be painful on your joints. So picking up and putting down is going to be a big deal in today's class because that's what you do all day. You pick things up, you put them down, right? You do that when you bend down to tie your shoe. So here we go. See how I'm coming down? I'm going to grab my weights. They're light weights, but I'm going to be mindful. What's the position of my knees? Where am I working through my back? Okay, so I'm going to go back down. I'm going to put them down 3 more times. Are you ready? You push your butt back. You say rib cage up and drop my shoulders. You're shining your taillights when you put the weights down. Okay, then you pick them up and come back up. Take a breath. Put them down right in front of your toes. You can reach out with your hands if you want to. Stay in your heels. Here we go. Back up. Tight butt. Right there. Okay, one more time. Here we go. Down. So you're in a full out squat. So what does that mean? You can put this down. You cannot take your shoulders and your head down past your butt. This is not what I want. What I want is to have your ears, shoulders, and hips lining in the same plane. I hope you're able to stay down there with me for just a little bit. Yeah, some of you are catching on to my little tricks to get you to squat. Okay, so that was 3, but now we're going to hang on to the weights. All right, and these are light weights. We're going to go down, and now I want you to just hold your weights right here under your chin, kind of. So you're tucking your chin, you're pushing into your heels really hard, but your head, your shoulders, and your hips should be in about the same plane, okay? Do not have your head lower than your hips. Hang out down there, and you're gonna go punch, 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 heels, heels, breath, 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 2 more, breath, breath, push and come up. Some of you should be screaming right now because in fact, even though these are light weights, we stayed down there long enough and you worked your posture in a proper fashion to really get load right here, which was my goal, okay? So again, these are light weights, right? So I'm gonna bring them right here. Now I'm gonna do that rotation out like we did before. My elbows are right here at my waist, all right? And I'm just gonna go tap. See this? See this? Yeah. I'm gonna bring them up, tap. So what's the difference here? Well, the difference is my elbows are at my waist, but my hands aren't here. They are in fact at a 45-degree angle, okay? So we go push out, and then we go tap. And we go down and up, and we go push out. And we go down, and when we go down, we go into our heels right now, and we say rib cage up. So see, my weights are at a 45-degree angle. So this is one of the foundational moves for somebody trying to overcome shoulder issues, okay? Upper back, shoulder issues. It's a 45-degree angle lift. Drop your shoulders. Your knees are soft. Your breath, every time you come up, exhale, inhale, breath, 45-degree. So now we're gonna do a little push up. We're gonna come here, elbows are into the waist, and you're gonna go boom, okay? So when I go out, look at the position of my weights. They are not here. I'm not doing that. I'm coming right here and I'm pushing out with my shoulders down. My shoulders are very engaged on this particular lift, okay? So keep the elbows to the waist, knees soft, primarily in the heels. Pull, see that? Tap, bring it right back down. Keep your thumbs at a 45-degree angle. Turn out. Okay, we're gonna do a push out. Are you ready? Bring them right here. Go push, and when you push, your shoulders are down. Duh! See, hold it there. Looky here. Do you see that? I'm not doing this. Just like you're pouring a can of whatever up and back. See that? So my palms are facing each other and I'm out at a 45-degree angle with my elbows in. Boom. Heels, knees soft. Keep my shoulders down. Breath. Okay, we're going to do the push out. Are you ready? Here we go. Push out. Shoulders down. Push out. Shoulders down. Push out. Shoulders down. 2 more. Breath. 1 more. Breath. Good. Okay. Oh my goodness, these are still light weights. Okay, put them in front of your toes, right there. See, I just put them right in front of my toes. All right, I'm going to turn my toes out to give them just a little break, okay? Shake out my hands, open, push, and then push, and then pull, and then push, and then pull. So I'm doing both hands. I'm pushing and pulling through the forearm all the way through there. My toes are out like a duck, okay? Just like that. Tight tummy, drop my shoulders. Tight tummy, drop my shoulders. Yeah, bend the knees. Now bring those toes forward. Now bring those toes in, okay? So they're in like very pigeon-toed, all right? This is a very important thing, not only for your hip to do these little movement patterns, but it is all your hip muscles, many of your hip muscles, not all of them, but many of them are attached to your pelvic floor. It has an impact on you. So when we do these little mini pushbacks, like we're going to sit on a high bench, which I've introduced and I will keep doing them, are very beneficial, but you can't go low here, okay? You have to act like you're sitting on a high bench, all right? It's not a hard move. Keep your tummy tight. We're going to pick up our weights here in just a second. Now I'm going to go straight forward with my feet. Now we're going to hit the second hard set with light weights. We're going to be in a full out squat. Those of you who need to sit in a chair or have a higher bench or something, that would be fine. But here I am. I'm going to go into a full out squat. Are you ready? So I'm going to go down. I'm going to push into my heels. I'm going to bring those weights with me. And I'm going to stay down there with my butt as low as I can. But my head, as I push out, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, I'm pushing into my heels. I'm keeping my chin tucked. I'm keeping my ear, shoulder, and hip in the same line, basically. And I'm just pushing out, working, 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 working. Keep my heels down and pushing. Breath, 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 breath. Hang on, just a couple more. Correct those lines. Put the weights down and stand up by pushing into your heels. Yes, okay. A little split stance. Little swing out. See how I've split stanced? I'm just stepping forward, just like I was going to take a step, and I just rotate. Now, if you don't want to get off balance, you need to focus forward. If you want to make this more challenging, number 1, keep your shoulders down. Number 2, turn your head and just look one way. Then forward, then look the other way, then look forward. Now, if you want to be very challenging, you keep turning your head and you're going to get off balance, but be ready for it, okay? So see how I'm keeping forward with my head, but I'm turning my whole body. I'm going to turn my whole body as if I was going to look. But if you don't want to get off balance, don't keep looking to the side. Take a breath. Switch. Act like you're going to step with the other leg. But here's where you check yourself. See, if you step with the other leg, many of you put your foot back and your toe is turned out. Turn that little sucker straight on, all right? If you need more stability, what do? You step wider. You don't turn your toes. Okay, so now you're on your shared feet. That means all 4 corners, and you do your swing. And you look one side, then the other, or not. Let's say you really struggle with balance, then don't be looking all the sides. Turn your upper body for sure, but look forward, okay? And just stay in a good line. And let it swing out. Big breaths, 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 breaths. Good. Okay. And come back down right to here. Ooh, okay. I still have light weights. I've got one more thing to do with light weights. Okay. So I'm going to go down and pick them up, but here's what we're going to be doing, just so you kind of know. All right. So I'm going to pick up the weights. But then I'm going to take one leg back. And we already practiced this move. We're going to go like this, okay? But this time, instead of the hands coming in toward each other, they're going to be out here, okay? So I have to be real careful when I'm going out with my elbows. So what I have to do, because I'm going to release my back foot, see? I'm going to do that. And so when I release my back foot, I put a lot of weight on my supporting leg. In fact, if you wanted to do this move and you need to stay unloaded, all that you need to do is stabilize yourself like this, or as you're gonna bring your leg up, you just stabilize with your hands like this. Because what I'm attempting to get you to do is to really work your back extensors, your gluteal, and your hamstring, okay? Forget the shoulders if you're struggling with injuries, okay? Just put your hands like this and bring that leg up, hold it. See how I'm using the wall? Let's say you don't have a wall. Then you put it on the chair, see? So those of you who I've already keyed you up, I hope you're getting on with doing it. I'm just showing people who have had injuries, especially to their knee, to their hip, to their foot. You are in desperate need of strengthening the gluteal hamstring, okay? So put your hands here and lift and tap and do as many as you can, and then go to the other one. So I'm giving you a modification. Those of you who are okay, and I already set this up, I hope you got on with it. I know Judy's probably doing it. Okay, so here we go. Take a breath, all right? So I'm gonna put one leg back, right? And all I'm gonna do is bring the elbows back. See, they're hanging here. I'm leaning forward from my what? Am I leaning forward from my waist or my hip? I don't know if you can see it, but I'm leaning forward from my hip. And I'm going to be bringing these elbows back. But if it gives me a lot of trouble, either balance-wise or shoulder-wise, I simply won't do that. I will just hold on here and bring that leg up. See? Just bring that leg up. Bring that leg up. So it's working both legs, but the lifting leg is working quite differently than the supporting leg. And many of you doing this are feeling that right now. So tight tummy. So my only suggestion here, well, not my only suggestion, other than lining up, keeping your shoulders down and all that jazz, keep your knees soft. But when you go to lift the back leg, this is crucial. Many of you lift the back leg and you either lift it at the knee or you turn out and you lift it. Both of them are circumventing or going right past the muscles that I'm trying desperately to get you to work. Keep your toe in and lift. Don't turn that hip out, okay? Keep your knees soft. And you're trying to get to where you can do 3 sets of 10 of these. Yes, because we don't have any weight on our ankles. We have light weights in our hands. We're trying to get to where we can do 3 sets of 10, lifting without turning our hip out. Heel is leading. Elbows are going back with our shoulders down. Breath. Keep your knees soft. The one that's supporting you on the ground, keep that knee soft. Breath, and just lift from the hip. Lift from the hip. Breath. Breath. So on the get-go, you're trying to get to where you can do 2 to 3 sets of 10, okay? But do as many as you can until you're like, oh man, I need to take a break. See? That's what I want you to do. I want you to push it until you feel like, I need to take a break. This is all presupposing that you're lined up properly. Okie dokie. All right, big breath. Yes, I'm switching feet. So now I'm shifting into the other leg. The knee is soft, toe is back, okay? Chin is tucked, shoulders are down. And whenever I lift, I'm just gonna bring those elbows back. I'm gonna bring the weights right here to the sides of the rib cage, okay? And then I'm gonna try to lift that heel off the ground, the whole foot. If you need to, keep the toe problems. It's very important for you to strengthen and to work those hamstring gluteals, but you might not be able to do this total loading with no holding. If you're one of those people, again, keep going out there. Kathy's counting. You do this. See, you can't hang on to those weights. And don't do it fast, all right? You want to load this one with a knee soft, but you need the help and stability of the chair or the wall, okay? If you kept going while I showed that, okay, I'm sure Kathy will say that we're pretty close to at least the second set, maybe the third, okay? Breath, 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 breath. Just three more, breaths, breath. One more, breath. Bring it back in. And we still have just light weights. Oh my goodness, you know what that means. All right, before we put these down, we're gonna bring these back right here. Take a big deep breath. Yes. So we're right here. And we're gonna do very little tiny sit backs and stand up and squeeze your butt. So I've got my weights here, or if I want to, I can put them right on my shoulders. Either or, you hang on to them and have them at your shoulders or put them on your shoulders, and you do this little thing right here. See this? See, it's a push back. I don't go deep. I just push back to that high bench, very high bench. Push back. Every time I come up, I squeeze my butt, drop my shoulders. Breath, come back, breath, come back, breath, come back. Yeah, hang on. Just a couple more. These are light and high. Okay, great benefit for your back extensors. Gentle, go into the heels, line up. Just two more. Breath, squeeze tight, back down, squeeze tight, and back down, squeeze tight. And bring those weights right down here. And just do a few little shoulder lifts, so that you feel what that feels like with light weights, okay? Big breath. Okay, now I'm gonna put these in my little holster. So when you go to put them down, there we are, putting something down, picking something up, putting something down, picking something up. That's what you do all day. And if you do it mindfully, you are going to be so far ahead of anybody else in your age range, because every time you put something down and pick something up, you're going to be strengthening yourself instead of breaking yourself down, breaking your back down, breaking your knees down, etc. Okay? So here I am. Big deep breath. I'm going to go ahead and go into the next phase now of our class. A little heavier, but I'm going to use the very same thing I used warming you up. So I'm going to come back down here. I'm going to sit. I'm going to think about my posture when I sit. I'm going to shift to the heels. I'm going to push my butt back. Shine your taillights. Tuck your chin. Don't drop your head. Tucking your chin is very different than dropping your head. If I have a knee problem, I'm going to put my hands on the chair and help myself past that sticking point so I don't keep re-injuring an inflamed structure in my knee, my hip, my feet, whatever. Learn how to back off but keep moving. That's really what the theme of my class is. Learn how to moderate some of your motion but keep moving. Okay, so now I'm going to not go up once. I'm going up into the medium heavy range for me. Now, if that was pushing you, whatever weight you had, fine, just go up one. So I went up into 12 and 12. So I'm going to be hanging on to 12 pounds and 12 pounds. So I'm going to go ahead and change that. I'm going to bring one on one side of me, one on the other side of me. Okay? So here I am, sitting in my little chair, getting ready to do some heavier lifts. I'm going to start sitting. If I'm somebody that has hurt my knee, again, I might do a lot of the stuff sitting because I want to maintain upper body while I'm trying to unload my injury, my knee, whatever. So as I go to pick up my weights, what am I going to do? Tuck my chin, really push my butt back, tighten in my tummy, pull, and then pull, okay? So now I have 12 and 12. That's just what I chose. You might have much lighter, which is fine. Just keep maintaining good lining up, okay? This is not one that you're going to do that 45-degree angle hold on. We're going to do that at the end with our T-towel so I can show you some other things, but don't do that with a heavy, heavy weight, all right? So now I'm going to just bring those weights down, and I'm going to bring them right to here, and I'm going to open my hip hinge. Then I'm going to come forward and come back. See that? I'm hanging on to these weights right here. They're heavier weights. Say rib cage up. You're pushing into your heels. You're going to come forward as if you were going to stand up, but then don't stand up. Okay? See? This pull. Okay? This is back extensors. Oh, heels. And you're hanging on here. Shoulders are down. Then I'm going to bring them down and curl and open back. Bring them down, curl. So right here, my chin's tucked. My lineup is ear, shoulder, hip, right there. Pull. These are heavier weights, okay? Because I'm doing that famous bicep curl, even though I'm not doing it straight on right now. I'll change that position. If you'll notice, I don't know if you can see, my hands are in a hammer curl position, as if you were slinging a hammer and trying to nail, hit a nail. See that? Okay. Now I'm going to hold in just a little bit. I'm going to say rib cage up. Now I've turned my palms up. Now I'm going to go down a little and pull right to the front of my shoulders. Then I'm going to come forward. I'm going to pull right to my shoulders. See that? Keep my chin down. Pull. Right there. Yeah. Down. Pull. Big breath. Yeah. Just close at my hip hinge and then I open. See? My back. Weight with your biceps. Okay, just one more. Breath, pull. Okay, now a little flicks. Bring it right to here and just go pull, breath, pull, breath, and put them down. Open your hands. Yeah, they should feel pretty zingy. I call it zingy. So right there at the end, see, we're just really pulling that in there, making our biceps work. Okay, We're sitting. We can do this. All right. Bend in, just like that. We're going to do a little interset. Then we're going to come right back to here, and we're going to work the backs of the arms right through here. Okay. People ask me all the time, what do I do about this hangy stuff here? I'm like, well, if you're living and you're, you know, your skin is not quite fitting you anymore, you're going to have skin, number one. If you're carrying some weight, you know, you've got that sometimes accumulate here. It's very genetical. And, you know, when you wave, it can hit you in the face, you know, which is, you know, not pleasant, but it happens, right? So you have 2 or 3 choices here. Work on the muscle underneath, which is what we're going to do. Find you a surgeon that will take care of some of that. But it's normal. If you're past a certain age, or even if not, if you've got skin here, you're going to have some of that. That's, you know, we need to know what normal, okay aging is. But my job is to help you get that muscle underneath strong. Because you know what? Here's the deal. I don't care how much this hangs around. If you're strong here and you're strong here to handle your own body weight, helping yourself push yourself up, do all that turnover in bed, you know, help yourself with daily functional work. It don't matter what it looks like. If it's strong enough, yay, thumbs up. Okay, that said, here we go. Lead your choir. Don't bring your weights. Come up. Breath. Okay? Then what I want you to do before we sit back down is turn your hands and go back like this and then contract that muscle. Okay? So palms are up. Bring it down. Turn. Drop your shoulders. Now straighten those arms and contract those back arm muscles. And how you contract them is you try to lift. See? You will feel a muscle. So I can tell you that one arm is going to be different than the other. Okay, that's kind of normal. That's what I'm looking for. So no matter how light or heavy your weights are, when we go into this, I'm looking for that muscle to work. Okay, now I'm going to go down and sit down. Okay, and here we go. I'm going to come in, grab my heavier weights. So mine's at the heavier end of medium, which is 12 and 12 for me right now. So I'm going to lean in. I'm going to do this all sitting down. So Chrissy, you should be sitting. All right. I'm going to push my butt back and say rib cage up so that my back extensors are working. Drop my shoulders. Now they're right here at my hip. I'm leaned in. All I'm going to do is push back and straighten my arms. I'm going to contract those back muscles. See, the back arm muscles, I mean. Tight tummy, push back right there, and then pull your shoulders in just a little. So push back as your shoulders roll in. Bring them back. Breath. Tuck my chin. Don't drop my head. That's what everybody do. I can't tell you how many times I walk through fitness centers and clubs, fitness clubs, and somebody's doing this work and their head's way down here. Wrong move. Keep your chin tucked in. Yeah, you roll your shoulder blades in while you keep your chin tucked. Okay, bring it back so you're really contracting against those tricep muscles. Why is it called tricep? It has 3 heads to the tricep muscle. It takes a lot of weight to innervate that, okay? That muscle group. Press, breath, bring it in. Press, drop your shoulders. Breath. Oh, rib cage up. Breath. Stay with me, y'all. Stay with me. Take a breath. Drop your shoulders. Push. Big breath. Push. Big breath. Push. Just 2 more. We're almost there. Push. Breath. Here we go. Push. And put the weights right beside you because you're going to use them, okay? Go open, big breath. Little interset here. Take your hands, put them on your seat. Not your seat, the seat you're sitting on. Okay, step out. I know. It's one of those mornings. Drop your shoulders, okay? Your tummy's in, right? Because I'm fixing to lift my butt off the chair. If I do that, if my shoulder's not in the correct position, I'm going to have a problem. So drop your shoulders, okay? Step out so you don't impinge your knee and act like you're going to lower yourself down, but don't. Lift your butt up and then just come up. See this? See this? I'm doing tiny little elbow bends and straightens. Tiny little elbow bends and straightens. Little tiny bits. Breath. Little tiny bend, straighten. And your shoulders are what? Shoulders are down. Breath, little tiny. So this is being able to handle your own body weight to help assist you if you need to stand up or whatever, okay? If you have an injury, or let's say you have an operation and you have to have enough upper body strength to handle yourself in daily functioning, okay? Breath, just do two more, Don't stop, don't stop. Stay with me. Little tiny bends, little tiny. See, little tiny. Breath, was that two? 1 and 2 in. Breath, 1 and 2 in. Okay. Yeah, you should feel this right through here. Yes. Now I've got my medium heavy weight and I'm fixing to stand up. However, if I was somebody that wanted to keep not hurting my knee because I've re-injured it, Chrissy, I won't stand up with my weights, okay? So I hope you guys have gotten this. Take a breath. Those of you that are good to go, you are going to stand up with your weight. You're going to grab and stand up. If not, you come here, then you grab them, then you stand up. See how I moderated that? How do I know this? I know this because I, in fact, have a knee replaced and a hip replaced. And man, when you're going through injuries of knees and hips, and you can't come from a sitting to a standing without it grinding, you better learn how to use your upper body. So that's why I know this. So you can do that. I'm good to go now. So I'm going to grab my weights and stand up. Here we go. Breath, go into your heels. Breath and up. So I'm standing up with a good 24 pounds, okay? So I'm going to go back down. I'm going to go to heels. I'm going to go into my heels. I'm going to come right into here. I'm going to do little punches. I'm going to bring my butt lower than my head. I'm going to get my butt down there as I'm punching out. Then I'm going to come up. And I'm going to go right into my pushbacks. We already did them, but we did them sitting. Now I'm going to do them standing. Here I go. Here, push back, push back, push back, push back, breath, push back, breath, breath, push back, push back. Now come on down. We're going to go down to a full squat, all the way down. Now go push, push out, push out, push out. Get your butt lower than your head. Breath, 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 up. I know you're loving it out there, aren't you? Shoulder shrugs. Remember, you have a heavier weight now, and we're going to do a shoulder shrug, which of course, I've said this before, this is one of my moves of choice for somebody with shoulder issues, especially if you can do increasingly heavier weight, because when you do this and then you bring them down carefully, you're in fact doing a lot, almost all of your shoulder girdle is involved in doing a shoulder shrug. The problem comes is by staying in that kind of a position in your daily activities. That starts to put strain. But moving them up to your ears and down to your ears with at least, for me, 10, 12, 15, 18, those are more in the heavy ranges. And your shoulder shrugging can take a heavier weight. Okay, stay with me. Okay, now the second set here, I'm going to go into my toe box, in fact. So that brings an element of balance into this whole move. So I did the whole first set just standing there, right? I'm going to keep my rib cage up. When I put my shoulders down, really put them down. But now I'm going to go into my toe box and I'm lifting my heels. You probably can't see it on screen, but my knees are soft and I'm into my toe box during this whole move. Tummy is tight. Stay into that toe box, okay? Take a breath. Just like that. Bring them all the way up to the ears, all the way down. Stay in the toe box. So the knee, by virtue of this stance, has to be bent just a little. Breath, bring it back down. Breath, bring it back down. Breath, bring it back down. Two more, bring it back down. One more. And now we're going to go down again into that squat. So coming on down, you got your weights. Push your butt back, keep your chin tucked. Go all the way into the heels, drop your butt, and punch out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Down. Shake them out. Shake them out, shake them out, shake them out. Okay? Now, on the last few minutes here, okay, I'm going to bring my chair. Some of you may not need to use a chair. And some of you should not do this next move. Those of you who need to unload, you do this. See this? See this? You step back, you come up, you come up. Okay, watch this now. Some of you need the chair. I'm going to take a wide stance. I'm into my toes. I'm going to press down if I need a little help. Otherwise, I'm going to step, or I'm going to bring my knee up like I just showed you, or I'm going to step back, step forward. Those of you who have intact knee, hip, again, I have a hip replaced and a knee replaced. So this is called jump training, okay? And I hesitated to call it a jump because they don't really hardly leave the ground. My knees are soft, tight tummy, shoulders down, and you just press off your toes as if you're pressing. And those of you who have knee issues, if you just do a heel lift, toe press, that's fine. Do several of them. Those of you who want a little higher end and you want to really come down into this little jump stance, you can do that and you don't have to injure anything. As a matter of fact, one of the things that the author of Strong Women, Strong Men, Marion Nelson, her statement is, in answer to how do you prevent osteoporosis with, exercise? And she said, well, simplest and easiest thing would be learn how to properly load when you're jumping, doing a little jumping move. And that's one of the, do it 50 times. I think her recommendation was pretty much daily. Just do a jump training. See this? I'm hardly leaving the ground. If I can't do that, I'll do this, or I'll go into my heels and I won't jump at all. This I do. It's very different and it's a very fine line. But once you've done this, you get to where you can really use your muscles and come in to a jump loading situation training. That's one of the best things for osteoporosis prevention. Because why? Well, you're using gravity, using your own body weight. It's very accessible. Have a good shoe. Come into that toe box. Tight tummy, shoulders down. Boom. See? You're tight. Then step out and just do that little swing out that we did before to cool down. Okay? So we hit some big issues today. I hope you were able to follow through. I'm going to go ahead and unrecord. Now I've got somebody